write a brief video on email. This seems perfectly obvious, but I do need to check with students about their email habits and the digital communication. Email's so old-fashioned. Who uses email? Well, I have to, and of course that's the official way that the school communicates with you. So how do you compose one? Just some simple tricks for trying to think ahead in your communications with me, or really with any private school or in your professions. What we tend to find is that while people communicate informally quite a bit through digital communications and feel very comfortable, almost too comfortable, when they communicate in a business setting or in a school setting, they're wholly unprepared for some of the things that are just necessary, that are expected, especially by old fogies like me. So not everybody knows how to do the email communication necessary for an institution, and I just want not to dampen your spirits, but to try to make sure that your communication with me is received and that I get it. So, okay, not everybody knows how to do this, and my pet peeve, I suppose, is that there's an unnecessary error that prevents you from being heard, and it prevents me from responding, because I'm really just here trying to help. So, okay. In an email, please, let's just go over some basics. Make sure you get the right address. I can't tell you how many students don't follow conventions of email and include the correct email address that I give you. Notice there's no S, even though my name is Collins, and people will screw this up all semester. The convention at the school is the first 6 letters of my last name plus my first initial. And you can see it there, A-C-O-L-L-I-N. And yet people will call me Colin once they get it, sort of, and they'll mistake my name. But more oftentimes they'll try to add an S to the email address, and they'll never reach me. And they'll wonder why they're never reaching me. They think I'm incredibly rude. But the point is that you've got to know which address you're writing to. And if you don't hear from me, that might be one reason why I'm not getting your emails. Other things, be sure to create a meaningful subject line so the school's filter doesn't nab your email before I even see it. Sometimes people will leave it blank. It's just too much of a hassle. You got to have something in the subject line that is meaningful, and stuff does not qualify. Stuff or any of its synonyms, like hey, anything that could be perceived really as phishing or spam, of course, is going to get weeded out. So you want something meaningful. You might even consider including your name and the class name so that we know who you are. It provides essential information and context for who is writing me. I have 120 students every semester, and some of my colleagues have many more. And so, don't just leave it to chance. Make sure that we know who you are, and even make yourself memorable by composing an email and thinking ahead about what I need to know. If you just say, hey, it's John, I could have 5 to 7 Johns a semester. So make sure that if you're Kate, that you identify which Kate you are and which class you come from. You can do that in the subject line. That'd be a great way to do it. And then I know exactly who is writing me. Don't go overboard and just put your student number, because I'm not going to recognize that. Somewhere between being so precise that a computer can recognize you and not in being so anonymous that no one can recognize you, there's a happy medium, and you get to find it. Also, think ahead. Is your own account full or empty? There was a period there where everyone was using a certain kind of email account. And of course, I try to respond to them, and then I get an error message back. And they'd wonder and be waiting why they're not receiving something. And it would be that their free account was full, or that there was no more room left in their mailbox, or that they didn't check. So make sure that it is an email address that you will check, will attend to. I know that people don't like doing this. My daughter tells me almost every day that she doesn't like checking email. But you need to do it. That is your job. And I hate to be a stinker about it, but it's the only way I can really be assured to get a hold of you. I'm not going to start texting people. I'm not going to make you Facebook friends. If you check the daily news, you can see examples of teachers who've had disastrous results for having done so. Facebook is for Facebook friends, and email is for work, and in this case, school. So please be sure to use it as it was intended. Do traditional rules of correctness and appropriateness apply to digital communication? Yeah, they do to me, and they really should to you too. You want to present yourself as best as you can, and that applies to any communication that you have with someone who's not the bosom buddy. So being overly familiar, disclosing to me your lunch, or unburdening yourself as if you were talking to a priest or a counselor. those things are inappropriate for this kind of communication. Think of it as a way that you would communicate with an instructor in class. You wouldn't disclose or start unloading on your personal stuff right at the end of class if you're talking to me, and neither would you do that in an email. So I'm not trying to shut you down, but make sure that you use communication for what it's intended for. And if there needs to be a follow-up, we can meet and have a conference that will illuminate more of what it is that we need to talk about. Okay, so this is a brief little video trying to help people get in touch with me and to think about all their communication, even their seemingly trivial communication, digital communication with their instructors, with their employers.